What's going on, everybody? It's Destiny Malibu and my co-host,
DJ Desi.
We are so excited because this is our first ever podcast episode. Let's go. And the main topic that we are going to be discussing on this podcast is mental health.
Yes.
So Desiree and I have had different experiences on our mental health journeys. And I, for one, a lot of people don't know this, but I suffered pretty severely from depression at a certain point in my life. And I remember about 4 years ago sitting in my car and just being completely broken inside and lost and numb. I remember at the time saying that I didn't even remember what it felt like to be happy. I wanted my life to be over. I was having a lot of suicidal thoughts. I was Googling how to end my life, and pretty much all of this I kept to myself. You know, my family knew that I struggled with depression, but they didn't know that I was having suicidal thoughts. Thank God today I have no suicidal tendencies, and it doesn't mean I'm immune to having a bad day or a bad week or something like that, but that is something that I really want to share with you guys and what has helped me, because there is a big difference between being sad and being suicidal. And so if there's anything that I could emphasize and stress and try to be there for you guys, it's how to help you get out of that suicidal space if you or someone is struggling with that. It's so important to check in on people and check in on your friends, because I, for one, I've always been known for being a very happy, bubbly person. And most of the time I am. And pretty much my whole life, I've always been a very bubbly, happy person. But 4 years ago, during, that year and probably a little bit of the year before, I was really broken. And nobody really knew that.
Yeah. I noticed a little. And I tried to be there for you as much as I could as your big sister.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy you're not in that place anymore.
Yeah, thank God. But it's important to emphasize that mental health struggles don't always look the same. I think a lot of times people think, oh, you can recognize when someone is suicidal because they'll kind of just be like moping around and it'll seem like there's kind of like a cloud over their head or something. But that's not always the case. And I'd say actually more often than not, a lot of people actually hide their emotions because they're afraid of being a burden.
Yeah.
And the dangerous part about that is that the number one tool of prevention is talking to somebody.
Yes.
And sometimes simply just having one conversation with someone. If you see someone and you notice that, they're maybe crying. That's happened to me a lot this week. I've been out and I see someone crying and I'm like, hey, are you okay? You never know when having one conversation with somebody can literally be the difference between that person taking their life and not. And in addition to that, it's so important to check on your friends, even if they don't seem sad. Because like I said, with my experience, I was suffering from suicidal depression and no one really knew that. So thank God, I have my sister, I have my parents, I have my family, but not everybody has that. So Desiree and I want to be your guys' family.
Yes, we want you to be a part of our family. And, I'm just, again, so thankful that you're not in that place anymore. And we hope that you all can learn from our journeys. For me, I've never personally dealt with depression, but I have had my own moments of loneliness or trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And sometimes that can be super confusing and like you almost feel lost, but I was never depressed again. So, I'm just happy that I was able to kind of figure some things out, still figuring things out as we all are.
We all are.
But probably the most scary thing for me is like being alone. I don't really like to be alone, so I always like to go out and do things and try to keep myself busy. And thankfully I have my sister and my family. But one of my favorite places to go back when I lived in California was Borderline, which is a country line dance bar and grill, and I would dance myself to happiness. That is what I love to do, and what I always like to do in my free time is dance. And unfortunately, we had a very tragic event happen at our Borderline bar, and there was a mass shooting, which I was at, and it was extremely terrifying and tragic, and I don't really like to talk about it too much, but it was a traumatic experience for me, a traumatic experience for my family, and we lost too many people that night, and may they all rest in peace. And I send my love out to all my borderline friends and all of the families who lost loved ones, and you're in my prayers and in my thoughts all the time. And then, not to mention, shortly right after that, another traumatic experience happened, literally the day after, for our family, where our house burned down in the Woolsey Fire. Thankfully, our whole family got out, our dogs got out, and we were able to survive that tragic event as well. But, all of that comes with its own
ramifications.
Yes, ramifications, where you get triggered by something, or you don't really like talking about it, or, you never know how you're going to feel. And we just want to share with you what we have learned and how we have come to jump over those hurdles and how to get over it and how to continue to move forward.
In this life, none of us are immune to experiencing pain. And Desiree and I want to be there with you guys on your journey. We want to know what you guys are going through. You can send questions to askdestinymalibu.com, and anything that you guys want to hear our opinion on, what we think about something. If we've experienced something similar, let us know. And our goal with this podcast and sharing our vulnerable, raw, authentic experiences is to hopefully in one of those moments resonate with some of you where maybe you're going through something similar. And I know I, for one, when I hear somebody else talking about something they're struggling with, and it's something that I have also struggled with, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not alone. Like, okay, like, I'm not crazy. Like, other people go through this too. So we want to be your guys' support system, your family. And next week, we're so excited because we're going to be talking about the 7 pillars of mental health,
which is something that Destiny kind of put together all on her own.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this because when I say that I want to share with you guys what helped me get out of the pit of suicidal depression is these 7 pillars, really. Mm-hmm. And as I was journaling throughout the years at this stage in my life, I recognized that, hey, XYZ, this is what helped me get to where I am today. And I want to share that with you guys because I don't want anyone to
feel like they don't have the tools.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to feel like they don't have the tools and to not know what to do, because it took me a long time to figure out, how to get to the mental peace that I have now. So we want to share that with you guys, and we want to be your family, and we love you, and we can't wait to be your best friends every single week.
We hope you join us next time.